Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the RnRGzrs Show. I'm your host, Murph, along with my co-host, Doc Vox. It's been quite a
Greetings,
week.
kind sir. Yes, great rock and roll filled week, and we're ready to talk about it.
Absolutely, man. It's been a weird week. We got up almost to 100 degrees Tuesday, Wednesday, and by Thursday it mellowed out just perfectly for the Tears for Fears garbage concert. It was really quite a week, and yeah, we got lucky. It stayed nice the whole week long for our concerts. So all three of our concerts so far, we've been really fortunate with the great weather, and man, that makes a big difference. It sure does.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's been perfect. Just a nice breeze, and absolutely.
Thursday
started
Saturday.
off with our REO Speedwagon Loverboy and Styx concert. We talked about that a couple of episodes back, and this weekend we had two. We had Garbage, as you said, Garbage and Tears for Fears on Thursday, and then Sunday we had Steely Dan. So I would say of the two, the Tears for Fears concert was the superior show.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Opening for Tears for Fears, of course, was Garbage, which I really love. I remember mentioning that I thought this show was going to be really good. I just had a feeling that it was really going to kick it. And Shirley Manson came out.
Yes, she's very delightful and just knows how to work a crowd, and great.
Legend, her longtime guitarist, Steve Marker. You can tell he's been there a while. He's been in the game a while, and man, they sounded so great. They just sounded great. Of course, on drums, Butch Vig.
Great Butch Vig, that's correct.
Legendary producer.
Producer of Nevermind, Nirvana Nevermind, Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream, most of the Foo Fighters. List goes on and on. Great producer.
And it was a great crowd, even for Garbage. Usually folks hang out in the nether regions where the food and the booze is for a while, but they pretty much packed the pavilion, before Garbage started, and they were really appreciated. She mentioned it, that it was so nice to play a big crowd of people right out of the gate.
Well, they have their following for sure, especially in the Chicago area. So,
the drummer being from Madison area, and they started jamming in the Chicago. I mean, they've got to actually have sort of roots here. So
they have some roots here. Yeah,
it's very cool, and they just put on a great show. Well received. No complaints whatsoever. I knew it'd be great. Yeah.
I don't know about you, but when I was watching that, I was like, well, Tears for Fears even sucks. It's been a good show.
Been a good night.
And they did not disappoint. Tears for Fears put on a very good show. Had a very much Pink Floyd-ish kind of stage set with the lights.
Especially the lights, the big circle of lights that would move, accordingly. A Roland Orbison, Oswald, a Kurt Smith, and they had a female backup singer, Karina Round, and she really played a great role in the music.
She could belt it out for sure.
And when you listen to a lot of their stuff, they've got a female singer in a lot of it. So she was much needed, and they just put out a new album, Tipping Point. They played a lot of music off of it, and I sort of like that because I had no idea what to expect, and that's sort of nice to not to know what's coming. And man, I was not disappointed. They these two professionals, jeez, wow.
the sound could not have been better. The weather could not have been better. Just great shows. Tears for Fears. We know the hits, pretty much the 4 songs basically.
Right.
And, I have the album Songs from the Big Chair, and I'm familiar with some of the songs off of that, but not super familiar. It's not like I could name them off the top of my head, but they
were great. And kudos to Roland for just letting his hair go natural. totally silver all the way. Yeah, there he is on my shoulder there. Yeah, he's letting it all go natural. That's great because the stories I hear about some musicians who not only dye their hair, but they'll wear the wigs and stuff. They just can't let go.
Just can't let
of
go.
the image that they've grown accustomed to in their earlier years.
Trying to stay 25 forever. Yeah,
yeah, you just can't do it. And these two guys,
we all age, guys.
Kurt had no hair. Roland's got the white hair, and boy, what a great show! And boy, of course, Chicago just loved it. Oh my gosh, they're really appreciative crowd all the way around. It was really impressive. The weather was perfect. Just wow, great show. And then we got to Sunday night last night. Started out with a group called the Snarky Puppies. There they are right there. They didn't bring a lot of snark to the game.
No, they were quite snarkless. Yeah,
man.
They did not live
there was
their name.
Not a lot of snark. I should be in the jazz, but I grew up in a house with my dad was a Chicago jazz musician for decades. One of the original players. Yeah, one of the old school guys. So I dig the old school jazz, but I just sort of got bored with these cats. There was no vocals at all. It was all instrumental.
Yeah.
And it was good for what it was,
yeah, I just kind of felt like we were waiting in a waiting room somewhere until.
And they've had they put out 14 albums. And folks, have you ever heard of the Snarky Puppies? I haven't. And they put out 14 albums. So wow.
Yeah, you gotta wonder what the distribution was on those albums.
They must have had a problem there somewhere because 14 albums and geez, I never even heard of them. And they were competent and whatnot. And they did mention that this was their final show for the tour. I don't know who's taking up the slack from here on in, but
they had Amy Mann scheduled, but apparently there's some problems.
Well, the rumor has it that she posted somewhere that that they turned her down because Steely Dan didn't feel that the crowd would get into a female singer-songwriter. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, if I've got a choice between Amy Mann, Snarky Puppy,
yeah,
I'm going with Amy Mann all the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good riddance.
Yeah, looked up before the show and she's still scheduled, but yeah, I know they're having those issues. So
good riddance.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But and then the man came out, Donald Fagen. That's basically what's left of Steely Dan.
Yeah, there he is. Yep.
And he's the main guy. So sounded okay, couldn't really hit the high notes, but the backup singers could. And
close, yeah. It was good to see. Geez, I remember listening to him in high school. So they've been around a long time, and he's still a voice. He's got that unique tone of voice, and he sounded great. And the band, of course, was spot on and tight and whatnot. And but I didn't headbang once, Doc. I didn't headbang once.
No,
which is upsetting.
I'm even kind of a closet Steely Dan fan. I have all their stuff from the 70s, man. Starting off with Can't Buy a Thrill, which turns 50 this year. But always it's good Sunday morning music, some Steely Dan. Didn't expect a raucous show by any means, but it was kind of lackluster. It wasn't, it's not the most charismatic figure, and it just it kind of played the songs, and that was kind of it. One thing we complained about during the whole time was the camera. They have the jumbotrons for us folks out in the nosebleeds and in the lawn.
Right.
And the whoever was operating the camera was just horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
Yeah, fixated on the drummer for one thing. I don't get that. Right. But, the difference between the Tears for Fears production, the directing of the cameras, and this show was a night and day. This show was
pro and amateur.
And the folks in the lawn we're depending on, decent direction. on the big screens because the stage is just a little thing down yonder. We depend on the big screens out there in the lawn, and that was really poor direction. Somebody must have taken a day off.
Somebody was doing a solo. He was, as you said, he was fixated on the drummer, and then eventually he'd get caught up and go over to whoever was doing a solo, and then the solo would end, and then his timing was just terrible. If there was any onstage banner in between songs, he was on somebody else besides who was talking. It was just not bad.
And I do find it interesting. I love watching crowd watching because the crowds have been so different in the first three. The REO Sticks crowd there, there was a lot of them there, and they're pretty raucous. They're pretty intense for the most part. Nothing like we're going to be seeing later on this year. But and then the Tears for Fears, I don't know, they're very mellow, just
pretty mellow.
Yeah, and this crowd here, so a lot of people walking around. It's like they've never dressed in normal go out to party wear. It was weird crowd.
Good way to put it, man. Yeah,
a lot of professors and whatnot, and
what do people wear to something like that? That's spot on, man.
A lot of uncomfortable clothes there. It's like, well, that's not a good ensemble. Nonetheless, cool time, good crowd. Chicago's been loving all of it so far, and
perfect weather.
Yeah. We'll talk about the next one maybe next week. Since we've got a couple of weeks off now, almost, right?
Yeah, we got a couple of weeks to our next show, so
that kills.
A little bit of a break, but then they'll be coming fast and furious after that. So
here. Well, speaking of Steely Dan, there Can't Buy a Thrill.
Yeah,
album came out 50 years ago. There you be. There it is right there. Let's talk about some. There's a whole bunch of great albums came out in 1972. So we got a list of songs we're going to go down here and chat about. Of course, obviously, Steely Dan. Can't Buy
even looking on here. You got Do It Again, Dirty Work, Reeling in the Years.
There it is. Yeah. Boom. Wow.
Yeah, just classic debut album. And then they put out one a year after that. But that's when they started in 1972.
I was in high school. I remember the Reeling in the Years was playing all, big time. That outstanding lead. And then of course Neil Young, Harvest. Wow. Bada bing. There it is, man. That was really his masterpiece, I think.
Yeah, Heart of Gold, Old Man.
Oh,
yeah, The Needle and the Damage Done.
Legendary music there. Elton John, Honky Chateau. Elton John, 72. He was just hitting his stride there. Just starting to, there it is, right there. Well done, Doc. Just starting to get his stride going. And boy, he was going to have some masterpieces coming up shortly from that point. And speaking of masterpieces.
Yeah, no, that album, you had Honky Cat, you had Rocket Man. So,
wow.
Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatters.
Oh, man, he was just hit. Yeah. Him and the songwriter. Who was the songwriter for him?
Bernie Taupin.
Lyrics. Him and Bernie were starting to really get it together.
Yeah, they weren't quite real poppy yet. It was still just a kind of real solid, just songwriters, just solid songs.
Yeah. Going down the list, Jethro Tull, their masterpiece, Thick as a Brick. Unbelievable. This is so great. What do you got? You got the album there?
I don't have that one.
Oh, I got it.
I have several other Jethro Tulls.
The thing about that one, that album came out, the original came out, and it was a fold-out album, and it had like a newspaper inside, many pages of a fake newspaper inside with all these crazy cool articles, which was really totally excellent. Yeah.
Back when they knew how to package an album,
that was great. We've got some talk about that to come up later too. We got to keep rolling on here. Deep Purple, Machine Head, unbelievable. 50 years since that's happened.
Groundbreaking hard rock album.
Smoke on the Water just blew everybody away.
Highway
That
Star.
was Highway Star, the best
Space Trucking.
best driving song ever. Exactly, Space Trucking. But Highway Star, the best driving song ever. And of course, Smoke on the Water, of course, just an amazing.
Yeah, that was the classic lineup for them for sure.
Absolutely. Oh, that was great. Little Feet, Sailing Shoes. Sailing Shoes, Little Feet.
Love me some Little Feet. This is their second album.
Yeah.
All the stuff with Lowell George. Then he passed away. Oh God, when was it? I want to say late 70s, 79. I want to say possibly a little later, but all their stuff from back then very underrated. You know, they were kind of looked at by Southern rock, but they were more than that. They could play great songs,
quite the players,
great lyrics. So
quite the players. T-Rex, the Slider. How about that?
Yep.
Very cool album. Yeah. Another guitarist gone too soon. Lou Reed. Hello, everybody.
Lou Reed, Transformer.
There he is. Just looking dead. Very cool.
This had songs like Vicious, Satellite of Love. Some people may have kind of sort of be familiar with, but then oh my gosh, what am I looking at? Of course, Walk on the Wild Side. Look at something else, but if you can get, She Never Lost Her Head, even when she was given head on the radio, and stay on the radio for 50 years. God bless you, Lou.
Absolutely.
I don't know how they did that. How did that get on the radio? And it's stayed on the radio. I mean, it's a great song, obviously, but you would think they would, alter those lyrics or bleep them out or something.
For quite a while, Jefferson Airplane got by singing "Motherfucker" on one of their songs. Tear down the wall. Tear down the wall, motherfucker. And the DJs didn't know what they were singing because it blended in so well with the song. So for a while, they were getting away with singing "motherfucker" on FM radios. Shit you not. Pardon my French, but okay, let's move on here. Deep Purple. Oh my gosh, Deep Purple made in Japan. So they did two albums that year. Yeah. The live album, classic live album.
Yeah, that's a great live album.
Absolutely great. Chicago 5. I don't know if they still had Peter Cetera at this time or not, but whatever. Good for them. Stephen Stills, Manassas. Yeah, that's one of his big albums. Sure.
That was like I said, that was kind of part of that Laurel Canyon sound, that kind of singer-songwriter. Him, obviously been around with Buffalo Springfield, Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Sure.
And it was also Jackson Brown's debut album.
All right.
So you had, those kind of singer-songwriters, Jackson Brown. Jim Croce, of course, had Don't Mess Around with Jim. He was, kind of somewhat an established artist at this point, but this kind of sent him into the next level. Time in a Bottle, Don't Mess Around with Jim, Photographs and Memories. Just one of my favorite songwriters, man. It's so sad this guy left us too early. And then, of course, the biggest of the country rock, I guess, crew at the time was the Eagles, and coming out with their debut album. So 72 is a big year for that kind of sound, that kind of light rock.
Absolutely.
Kind of singer-songwriter. And,
Jim
like
Croce,
any other movement, a lot of crap comes from it. But in the beginning, there was a lot of great music.
Yeah. All right, moving on down the line. ELP trilogy, Emerson, Lake and Palmer trilogy. Right. Big one for them. Bonnie Raitt, Give It Up. Grateful Dead, Europe 72. Allman Brothers, Eat a Peach. Oh,
Allman Brothers,
first album after Dwayne passed. Yeah. Alice Cooper, School's Out. And now here's another one of those album covers that actually folded into a desk. The album cover, the original album cover.
Yeah, if you had the album,
you could fold it into a desk. Yeah, I think I got that. Doobie Brothers.
They knew how to package albums back in the day, man.
Sure. Killer, the album before, Alice Cooper's album before that, Killer, came with a 72 calendar with him, of course, hanging. I've got that one. That's excellent. I should hang that on the wall. Let me see. Doobie Brothers, Toulouse Street, Uriah Heep, Demons and Wizards. Uriah Heep also.
Yeah, they had two that year, right?
They put out their two big ones in the 72. Demons and Wizards and Magician's Birthday both came out in 72. Mott the Hoople, all the young dudes. Outstanding. Bam. All the young
song,
dudes.
All the Young Dudes.
Settle down. You're way loud there, brother. Hold on.
Okay. The song, All the Young Dudes, pardon me, was written by David Bowie. He had tried a couple other songs. Oh, gosh. Should have been more prepared. But a couple other songs that became hits for him that he had tried to give to Mott the Hoople. And for whatever reason, this is the one they settled on, and it worked for him. So
there you go. Coming up, Pink Floyd, Obscured by Clouds. Just before they were, they're getting the juices flowing. Rod Stewart, Never a Dull Moment. Great one there. Yeah. Who did guitars on that? Was that Stone's guitarist? Jeez, another brain fart. Okay, we'll move on. I don't want to. Let me see. Edgar Winter, They Only Come Out at Night. Moody Blues, Seven Sojourn. Stevie Wonder, Talking Book. Man, a lot of great ones. Roxy Music. I saw them.
Stevie Wonder pretty much owned the 70s, man.
Oh, he had so much great music. Just the radio was so great back in the days. It just seems like everything's gone to hell now. I can't listen to the new stuff. It just I don't know. Back in the days,
we'll do a whole show on that. Probably a couple.
But
some of my favorites from the year, we had David Bowie, Rise and Fall, Ziggy Stardust, and the Spiders from Mars.
Oh yeah,
we mentioned that in past episodes. One of my favorite albums. Another great one, of course, from the Rolling Stones, Exile on Main Street, one of their masterpieces. Speaking of masterpieces, Black Sabbath, Volume 4.
Volume 4. Boy, they were on
another not so well-known masterpiece that we've talked about before, Big Star.
Big Star's that came out album. Too. Yep.
Humble Pie, Smoking.
Great.
Another one's 72.
30 Days in a Hole, baby.
Man, you could have just spent so much time in record stores in 1972.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of on the outer realms of rock, even. There was a lot of great albums. You had Curtis Mayfield, Superfly.
Oh, Curtis.
72.
That was so cool. He was so cool.
You had Dr. John's Gumbo kind of came out. That was kind of when he kind of started his whole kind of Dr. John's persona. Yeah.
Sure. Well, yeah.
So, yeah. Just some of the music that came out that year. I mean,
yeah, Roxy Music. I saw them at one of the theaters in Chicago. Very cool, very suave. Brian Ferry, totally suave. Very cool, mellow, weird. I can't remember too much of it because it was the 70s. So we will leave it at that.
Yeah, of course, we started off with Brian Eno, who's just next level genius, and
sure.
And then they kind of split for a while, but continue to put great music. Yeah, Roxy Music, one of those bands people don't talk about too much, but
they were excellent. Yep. Yeah. If you want to go on YouTube and do Roxy Music Avalon. Check out that video. That's very cool. Genesis Foxtrot came out that year, the 72. Yeah. The youngsters would have been 22, and Phil Collins would have been 21. Yeah. I can't say enough, and I'm not going to dwell on them because y'all know how I feel, how great they are. Pete Townsend, Who Came First? I've actually got that album. He was into the Maharishni craze back then, and really, really went nuts on this album. Nonetheless, it's still pretty
Townsend was just so prolific and just so creative. He just
yeah. Chuck Berry,
all the solo albums are great.
Chuck Berry, the London Chuck Berry. I don't know. That must be maybe a live album. I don't know.
I would assume.
War, The World is a Ghetto. Bam. That song made a statement. Holy cow. They were very cool back then. War. Slade Alive. Wow.
Slade Alive, yeah.
I saw a recent picture of Noddy Holder, and of course I would not have known who it was unless somebody had told me, the gray hair, the short hair now, and the gray sideburns. Still the gray sideburns, but he was still, he looks his age. So it is.
They always had kind of slightly goofy costumes, kind of.
Oh yeah,
more than
yeah.
slightly goofy.
The guitarist with his weird haircut and his silver tight out. It's just
yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Cat Stevens, Catch Bull at 4. There you go, Cat. He was such a great songwriter. Great songs. A ton of them too. The band, Rock of Ages. Outstanding. I mean, can't say anything bad about the band. Grand Funk Railroad, Phoenix. This was after I lost interest in their stuff. After they achieved a keyboardist, I was a big fan of the 3-piece Grand Funk. So from this point on, I just sort of lost interest. And apparently, we will be seeing them opening for Kid Rock. I looked into it, and they just announced it that they will be with Kid Rock. And there are some shows where they're actually having a fourth band. The drummer, the son of the Led Zeppelin drummer, Bonham, Jason Bonham's band is playing with some of the tour. Probably
Jason Bonham's touring with Hagar, right?
Well, no. Well, let me see. I don't know. You got me.
Oh yeah.
There. But
we shall investigate.
We'll look. Yeah, investigate that because I know we're going to be seeing Grand Funk, but whatever. Santana, Caravanserai. We'll be seeing Santana next.
That will
and
be
quite
our next
honestly,
one.
I just dropped the bomb. Yeah, we'll be Santana next with openers Earth, Wind, and Fire, which I think is a big mistake because nobody should be opening for Earth, Wind, and Fire. Geez, they're just gonna.
Hey, Santana could very well pull it off.
But it's going to be a great show. It's going to be a great show, and we better get there early because holy cow. Earth, Wind, and Fire. I think it's just gonna. They're just, we better get there early because I think it's gonna be a packed house, and I think people are just gonna be going nuts. So my gosh, and of course, Captain Beefheart, his magic band, with Clear Spot. Van Morrison, St. Dominic's Preview.
Yeah, that's a great album.
So man, 72.
I do have that. I forgot to pull that one. Yeah,
72 was an epic year for albums. Gee, many creepers.
And here we are 50 years later. And, if we compare the music of today to back then, it's quite laughable, actually. But
yeah. And like you said about record stores, back in the day, you had to go to the record store and flip through the, the sections to find what it was. Always a fun experience, a great experience.
I still do it. I did it today.
Yeah. Did you really?
Yeah. I went to the store.
What'd you find? Anything good?
I got some Uriah Heep.
Did you?
Yeah. I got some.
I'll be darned.
Some Little Feet.
I love
rounded out my collection on them. Yeah, a little of this, a little of that.
Outstanding, Doc.
Dire Straits.
Dire Straits, very cool. So yeah, coming up in a couple of weeks, we're hoping the weather will be great because we really had outstanding luck this year weather-wise.
Yeah.
I love the lawn. They allow you to bring your own short lawn chairs, 9 inches or shorter, and it sure is nice. You don't have to sit on the grass, and you're actually sitting in a comfortable chair, and the big screen right in front of you, and it's been just a lot of fun so far, and we've got quite a few shows to come. So
yeah, we're just getting started.
Yeah. This is going to be so much fun. So the secret is to not get there on time. Get there a little early, just a little bit early, and you can usually slide right in. Because boy, oh boy, the first 2 concerts we had quite a time getting in there. It took the first show. It took us the whole set of a Loverboy. It took us the whole set of Loverboy to even get into place. So they've smoothed things out quite a bit now. Seems like they've got their acting gear and everything's rolling smoothly. So it's going to be a great summer. We can't wait to be reporting on all of them to you. So I want to say it's been a great show, Doc. Feeling really great, man. It's we got a couple weeks off, which I think really sucks, but I'm looking forward to Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Hey, we'll still be popping on here weekly and then talking about rock and roll in some way.
Absolutely, man.
Hopefully, we'll start getting some comments, start getting some dialogue going in the comments a little bit. Please subscribe, all that good stuff, and plan on doing this for a long time. So
absolutely, Doc. Thanks a lot, man. And we'll be seeing you next week, man. So have a good one, okay?
Absolutely. Man.
Thanks a
Have a
lot.
great rock and roll filled week, everybody.